This is going to be our demo about capture the flag framework that we have created. We are going to showcase the basic functionality of it. I will be demonstrating from an instructor's point of view, and Nate will be demonstrating from a student's point of view. So the first thing upon arriving on the webpage is to log in as the instructor. So this login system is set up so that the instructor can set it to the organization or allow public access. So now that we have authenticated, let's go ahead and create a class for our student Nate to join. So if we point to manage class, create a new class, and we are going to need a class name, something like CS456. But for the sake of this demo, let's do demo class. And then click create class. And upon creating the class, we will be directed to the class information page. As you can see here, there are currently no levels associated with the class and no due dates associated with the levels. So once we start adding levels to this class, it will start populating here. The class code is what I will need to give Nate, the student, to join the class and participate. And then now that we have created a class, let's go ahead and add a level. But for the sake of time and complexity, let's go ahead and showcase a level that I pre-created beforehand. So if we select edit level and Bennett zero clone, select level. So the edit level page and add level page are the exact same, except that the edit level page has the information already filled out. The instructor will have this information when they are trying to add the level. So now that we have added a level, let's go ahead and edit the class and add the level to that class. So let's go ahead and go to edit class level and students, and then select demo class, edit level for class. On the left side, as you can see, there are currently no levels associated with this class. And on the right side are all the levels that the instructor have added to the availability list. So if we want to select two levels, we use control, but I will select all and let Nate choose which one he wants to demo. And one last thing before I hand it over to Nate, let's go ahead and add some hints to a level. So if we point to manage level, edit level, select bandit zero clone, and let's go ahead and edit the hints for this one. As you can see, there are currently no hints. Each hint is split by a new line. So that means every time you hit enter, it is considered one hint. I will paste in what I have prepared beforehand. I have 4 lines of hints here, so this will be counted as 4 hints. Let's limit the amount of hints this class have to 3. And then let's set the hints, and then Nate will demonstrate this.
Thank you, Zissou. Okay, welcome to the Student Cyber Demo. I have already authenticated as a student, but now I want to connect to the class that Zissou just created. So I can do that by clicking all levels in order to add a class. Because I'm not associated with any, I get this message that I need to add a class. So I'm going to paste that course code that Zissou just created for that demo class. I'm going to select Add Class, and now I have successfully added it. I'm going to come up here to all levels so that I can see all of the levels that are configured for this class. And here I can filter by the classes that I am in, but because I'm only in one, I can just leave that as default. This zone selector is the mechanism that tells our system where to put the level. However, our system makes a best effort to just put the level in the most suitable zone, so we can just leave that as default as well. And here we have the categories of levels for which we can access for this class. I'm going to do a intro to SSH and the Linux command line level, so I'm going to expand the category and then expand the level to get more information about it. The description of this level for Bandit Zero clone is a clone of over the wires Bandit Zero, an introductory level to SSH and Linux. Use the Linux command line to find and print the flag0.txt file. The level is 1, the difficulty is 1, there was no due date set for this, maybe I want to get ahead in this class of demo. So let's go ahead and start the level. While we wait, I will describe how our system works with the starting of VMs. When we click the Start Level button, the system first checks if there are any running levels, or if there are any that are currently being deleted for this specific user that clicked that button. If none of these things are true, the system gives the necessary information to Google Compute Engine to start a level. Compute Engine then pulls the Docker container from Artifact Registry and starts it. Once all the setup is done, the system displays the connection information on screen, like so. So we have this blue hyperlink that will take the students to the SSH FAQ where they can learn more about it. And for those of you in the audience who don't know what this is, it is a connection method that students who are taking these classes would learn more about or already know how to use. But now that we can see our level page, let's go ahead and click the Get Hint button to kind of see what we're supposed to do here. Use the connection information on screen to SSH into the level. Okay, I can do that. I'm going to start by copying all of this information, and I'm going to paste it into my pre-prepared terminal. I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to copy this password here. And for those of you who might think that putting a password on screen is a bad idea, you are absolutely correct. However, our levels are short-lived enough, and after I solve this level, this password goes away forever and it's never going to be used again anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that into the information like so. And let's go ahead and read what this says here. Welcome to Penetration Platoon. Instructions for this level. This is an introductory level. Your goal is to find and print the flag.txt file. To get a hint for this level, use the Get Hint button on the website. To print this message, again, use the instructions command. Good luck and have fun. Okay, let's take its advice. Let's go ahead and get another hint. Use the ls command to list the contents of the current directory. We can do that, ls. Yay, so there's our objective. So how do we print this thing out in order to find what it contains? Let's get another hint and see what it says. Use the cat command to display the contents of the file. We can do that. And we can also see this message here that there are no more hints available for this level because we have reached that hint limit that Zissou set when he was setting this up. So we can go ahead and cat flag0.txt, and here is our flag to solve the level. I can copy this to my clipboard, and I can enter it here into this flag information box here. I could check the flag to see if it's correct, at which point I'll get a message indicating that it is or is not, or I can just solve the level and move on with my day. And as we can see, I got the flag correct, 1 out of 1. I have used 3 hints, and my score is 70 out of 100. Cool. Let's go ahead and do another one. I think I'm going to do this HTTP directory traversal Natus2 clone. Description of this level. This level is a clone of over-the-wires Natus Level 2 CTF. Some web servers forget to protect what's important to them. Find the unprotected passwords.txt file. The level is 2, difficulty is 2, no duty has been set, and the class is for our demo class. So I'm going to go ahead and start this level. One thing to note is that each user can only have one level active at any given time, and this includes when it's being deleted. So if I access this page too quickly, it'll say no, you have to wait 30 seconds, we're trying to start another one. And the reason we enforce this is to save costs for the instructor running this platform, because again, compute time on Google Compute Engine just costs money. And so because we have this HTTP level, this is a web level, meaning we can copy this HTTP link to our address bar and paste it in, or we can just simply click this hyperlink and it'll take us there. So welcome to level 2. There is nothing on this page except for this stunning picture of Jackie Chan, who is very frustrated. There's nothing on this page that he can't find this flag. Okay, well, I don't quite see anything. I'm kind of clicking around. I can't do anything. What happens if we go back and get a hint? Sort of tell me maybe what to do next. Start by viewing the page source. Okay, we can do that. We can either right-click Inspect, or we can use the F12 button on Google Chrome to do this. And so now we can see the HTML that makes up this website. And we can see this is the text for that. That is the image. Okay. What is... I think I want to get another hint about what's going on here. So that is a funny picture. Where is it located? Let's find out. It looks like this picture is stored under Files. And I remember that this category was HTTP directory traversal. So what happens if I go to Files? I now have access to a folder, and I can also see the picture and the password. So there's the picture, and here is my flag. So one thing about this is that this is obviously a bad thing and it's not secure, because if this is effectively a file path, and if I know a file path, I can print it out. Another thing that I can do is I can just append ... which is operating system shorthand for go to the previous directory. And in this case, the previous directory is the index, which is just this page. And this is obviously not secure or desired behavior in a web server. And so this level kind of showcases that. So now that I have the flag, I can paste it in here. Again, I could check it to see if it's correct, but I already know it is. So I'm going to go ahead and submit the solution because I am done with this level. And we have solved this level. We got 1 out of 1 flags correct. We used 2 hints, and our score is 135 out of 150. Because this was a more difficult level, the overall score is increased. And also, each hint costs less to use as well. And with that, I'm going to show that I can view my scores up here at any time. So I got 70 out of 100 on Bandit Zero Clone, as well as the date and time that I completed it. My total score is 205 out of 250, as well as a percentile score. Because I know some students are going to add all these up in order to figure out what percentage they are, in order to kind of figure out how they're doing in the class. But this way, students can just look at this, and they don't have to do that. And that is it from me. I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to Zissou to demo 2 last features of our system.
Thank you, Nate. And now that Nate has completed the levels and has achieved some score on those levels, we can see as the instructor what their score is. Let's say instructor wants to grade for a specific class. We can go to filter by class, demo class, and let's select that class. As we can see here, Nate's the only one in this class. Let's go ahead and see what grade he has gotten overall. So his total score is 205 out of 250. That's pretty good. But let's see how he has done on Bandit Zero Clone. Oh, looks like he's got a 70 out of 100 and the date that he has completed. So the instructor has the ability to set a due date for these assignments and whether or not the assignment is accepted past the due date and if there's some sort of penalty for passing the due date. And one last feature for me to demo is the view running levels. So as you can see here, there are 5 levels currently running. The name of the level is usually set to the student's name, and then the running time will tell us how long it has been running for. The reason why we want to keep an eye on the amount of levels running or the uptime is because each level that's running costs money. So to keep costs low, we want to stop levels that are over the uptime. So let's say Moo has been running for far too long. We want to stop the level because the students has been idling or is not aware that the level is still running. So let's go ahead and stop this level. And with a click, that level is stopped. But let's say we want to stop all level. We could hit this big red button here and it will stop all level. And another key thing to note is that while we have a manual way to stop all levels, there is a background function that is actually periodically checking if levels are up for too long and the uptime is it's way past the uptime. This is just as a backup feature to that. And with that, this concludes our demo.